Alright. Here we've got a new vise in for the mill. Got some hardware and wrench lever for it. And this is a lockdown type. What it allows is whenever it clamps in, the clamping force actually pulls the jaws down. Whereas if any of you guys used a normal vise, you've probably noticed that as you clamp, it squeezes the work up. It lets the jaws flex out at the top and let the work, almost like it can squeeze the work out the top. Whereas with this style, it's called a lockdown. They lock down. Down is the key word there. There's a lot of play on those words. So, and this has got the swivel base on it, but what I'll actually be doing is the swivel base will come off for most stuff. Because with this being a mill lathe combo, I'm a little limited on my height right now until I get my extension piece made, which will probably happen sometime this summer. So for now, I got to be conscientious. I can't speak today. Anyways, I've got to be aware of my height, my clamping height, and so unless it's certain things, I'll probably not use the swivel base and just go with the actual vise itself. And this is a really nice vise. It's a 4-inch vise. The 3-inch would have given me a little bit more clearance here, but I would have liked to have been able to run the 5 or 6-inch vise, but they're too tall. So this was a compromise, as is everything with one of these combo machines. It's always a compromise, but that's okay. It's part of it. So anyways, and this is so long back here because it uses the back part of this base as a pivot point, and the part that locks it down is underneath here, and so it's a taper. So as it squeezes, it tapers and pulls the front down, and having this longer back here gives it more stability and gives it a farther out pivot point where it has more power. So that's what this thing is for. I had always wondered that until I actually took one of these apart and saw how it worked. Kind of with everything. Take it apart and find out how it works. So we'll just throw it up here for right now. Let me go ahead and put this hardware up here with the rest of my hardware. Manuals in there. And I'm going to come over here and I'll move the camera, I'll pan it up where you can see what I was talking about with the overall height. I've got, we'll zoom this out here where you can see. So I can come up a little bit more on my height. I am going to put a extension piece on this, but not now. So for now, you see with my ER collet chuck in here, you can see right here, I'm very limited because of this height. Now, this is the ER style chuck here. The spindle itself is an R8 style. Let's see here. Here is the kind of collet that goes into this chuck. But within the spindle is the R8. So if I have an R8 collet for whatever my end mill is, I can use this, and now I go up to there instead of down to here. I gain some space. But the problem with the R8 collets is that if you look here, you see there's 3 slits in it. If you look at this style collet, these ER styles, see there's multiple splits in them. And so what that does is it lets these style collets expand to take a larger item than what they're really necessarily made for, or more importantly, it lets them contract farther to clamp onto something that's maybe smaller than what they're really designed for. Whereas with the R8s, because of its basic, 3 splits and that's it, it's limited on the size range that each one can clamp. So if you don't have a lot of collets, the ER is a better way to go. But that's kind of it. But see, if I lose this base here, I'm gaining what, 1.5 inches, which could be the difference in using it or not. I can definitely tell you that I'm going to have to increase my collection of R8 collets to use this vise. But that's all part of the game. I do like that this is removable. Very, very nice. So, anyways, there's that, and hope it was educational.